There are stories that connect us to ourselves and to each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. Now, exclusively on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your hosts, AJ and Natalie.
Guess who's back?
We are.
Back again. I can't sing, but hey,
Here we go.
AJ, this is me, cannot sing.
Well, you can sing.
And Natalie, which is you,
I
can
could
sing.
This little light of mine.
That's right. It's your song. It's your song.
I'm going to shine, shine, shine.
Hello, Wanderers. Welcome, welcome to Soul Wanderings, heard here on KGRA Digital Broadcasting. Where are you hanging out with us tonight? Let us know in the chat rooms on KGRA, Facebook, Rumble, or X pages. Or if you're hanging out on kgradb.com for the live show, say hello. We love hearing from our listeners.
Conversations to be had.
Yes, so many conversations to be had. Speaking of conversations, we're going to have them tonight. It's kind of what we do.
Yes.
It's a thing. As you put it, I love to talk. I can talk.
Oh, I can talk.
She can talk. And Natalie will be talking tonight. I will talk a little bit.
I moved a group to tears this week when I was talking. This one was, of course it was a one of those groups that were crying is normal in the group. But as I was, the thing that I was saying was, and it was profound enough that definitely one of the ladies, I'm like, oh, she pulled at her heart, which I find is good.
Yes.
Have our hearts pulled in many ways.
I really enjoy doing that, just so organically, how you feel called to share something with someone, and it was exactly what they needed to hear or feel in that moment, because you're just like divinely connected and listening, right? You're just the messenger, and those moments are like chef's kiss. That's
Gold.
like the best.
So true.
I love being that for other people.
And you do that well.
Thank you.
You do. You did that for me today.
Mm,
You're like, hey.
You do that for me on the regular, friend. I'm glad I got one day out of that mix.
Oh.
It's a thing, but yeah, it's so beautiful. I love that you had that experience.
Thank you. That's what life is about. I was listening to the intro at raising spiritual awareness and fostering connections. And I would have to say that's really so much of my life really is infused with the ability to raise awareness, spiritual and physical, all the different ways to raise awareness. But that I was just jumped out at the intro for me today. I was like, oh, yes, I live for that.
It's Warren's voice, I think.
Well, yes, it doesn't hurt to have a person with a voice like that.
No.
Doing our intro.
Yes. How did we get so lucky?
You don't know, but we did.
We did. And it is true. Our show has that foundation, and that is our commitment each and every time we show up here to the studio to do the things.
Yeah.
I love it. It feels good. What's your week been like besides making people cry?
Well, but personally, I every once in a while I get a little bogged down. And this last few days, I've just been I pay I pay attention to my body in the way I pay attention to the body. And I do regular and consistent maintenance on my body, which I think is very important for the work that I do. Thank goodness, I would say, because working with people in their difficult spaces in their life, and
Yeah.
as they heal through that, heal myself. So I've had this issue with my shoulder that I've did on all the levels,
Mm.
physical and spiritual, and then I had an energetic thing the end of last week, and that helped shift some more. Um, and then I'm paying attention to when I'm interacting with different people in my life.
Mhm.
And so my insight today was this is what I have to say. It's been a long time since I've had regular business hours
That's true.
because my job, as soon as I left the structured 9 to I'm gonna just put in air quotes 9 to 5 gig that I had when I used to work for the federal government,
Mhm.
and even the last job I had there, it, business hours changed. So I was for the last like 5 years, even at that job, I worked a job where once 1 week a month I was on call. So there was just no you're always just on the ready. So I've recently had the awareness that it's like it need to have business hours where
You just
I'm
don't answer your phone after a certain time.
right, but I don't naturally do that. I naturally just I'm responding and if something comes through, but even more than that, I don't mind it if it's my clientele, but because I happen to be good at what I do, oftentimes people will tap into that aren't clients, which I don't mind, but it can become I have grown in the awareness it takes its toll on me because
Mhm.
then I'm not ever just Natalie time.
Mhm.
Natalie doing Natalie's life. Look,
Yeah.
I have a life of my own and people and critters to pay attention to and
I
they're,
understand
they're
that.
like, when do we not have to share you with the world? I'm like, I don't know. So it's lesson learning.
Mhm.
When you work for when it's the life's work, then I feel like in a way saying God's work or working
Or
in
even
connect.
just being an entrepreneur alone,
Oh yes.
I
Yeah, you know
think.
about that,
Well, I do a combination of both.
right? So that was kind of
Yeah.
the noticing the toll on my body and noticing when I'm not really being able to recharge my own batteries and take care of my own stuff. So
Yeah.
it's an ongoing dilemma I have
Yeah.
of figuring out when to orient my busy to which thing, but it's
Where are
good.
you going to put your energy and who are you
Right,
going to allow your energy to go to?
right,
It's
and
an important conversation to have with oneself, I
it
feel.
is. It's true.
I do it on the regular. I have this like unlimited amount of giving people the benefit of the doubt
Yeah,
and believing in them more than they believe in themselves.
right.
And I feel like you have a titch of that too.
Oh, I
And when you do that, I'm a titch, Natalie. Let's not go. Just kidding. I didn't mean it as in a small amount, but
She says, "I detect sarcasm."
when you have that, you just sometimes forget that boundaries are healthy because you just want to help, help, help. And you want to be there for people because that's your calling and that's your passion. But we only are allowed so much energy into that before it depletes us.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
oh, tisk
That
tisk, Joe.
oh,
He
right.
sneaks in to watch when he's at work.
That's good.
Yeah, I like it.
Dedicated to the show. So there's that, and there's when spring kicks off, then it increases the amount of work around the home front. So
Yes.
I've got tasks to do there. So,
Yeah.
but I love it. I love my backyard. I have my I have these massive trees. There is nothing like having an amazing shade tree that was planted 60 years ago
That's
in your
awesome.
yard.
Yeah. The energy. Whoo.
Oh,
I would
my
be hugging
trees.
a tree.
Oh, I love those trees.
That's awesome.
How are you?
You
What
know,
about your week?
I'm groovy like a drive-in movie. That's
Oh,
all I've gotta say.
that's it. Show's
Imagine
over.
no, I'm just kidding. I am groovy. It should life just has, like, a mixed bag, right?
Mhm.
One day's awesome, the next day's like, the next day's like sad, whatever. I'm on a roller coaster as always. I'm a deep feeler. I feel things at in deep ways
Yes, you
and
do.
with for myself. And then
For others.
and then when you mix other people in that, I'm all over the place. I'm a lot to I feel like I'm a lot emotionally. It's a lot to take. The average person is like and not that I'm crying all the time because we know I'm not really a crier,
No.
but I feel things intensely. And so it's talking about boundary setting, right? It's exhausting. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but there are days that are like really awesome and there are days that are like, pass or next, skip.
You're like, "Can I go to the other side of the spectrum of emotions?"
Yes.
It's
I
like,
mean, they're all over the place. So
it's true.
I get them all in one day sometimes if I'm lucky. Yeah. I've really been focused on finding peace, not just like within myself, but outside of me because everything is really chaotic energetically. I feel things a lot with energy that I read energy, I feel energy and so, I'm just trying to like bring it to a place where it is feeling good for me. I don't know how else to explain it. There's
Good.
just so much
Yeah.
going on, and we are all in control of our own thoughts and the way that we feel. And I'm just trying to make it so it's not so erratic and
Ah,
be like more at like ease and flow
you feel
and
like we're in control of that?
peace
Or we have the capability to control
to control.
the way our thoughts and feelings?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I think they come. I'm not saying you can avoid them. They come, but what do you do with them?
Oh,
So you have the
that's the
ability
part.
to yeah, absolutely. Maybe you're thinking like are you thinking of along the lines of we have the ability to like not have certain feelings and emotions?
Well, yeah, that's what
No,
I
I just
was
mean the controls within us. What
is
right?
the
Things
response, huh?
yes. I mean, you have feelings, you have emotions. They come and they go on their own, and sometimes you have to process them before they can go.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, you have control of that. There's a lot of people who will have it all and do nothing with it.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like it's all in our control. Absolutely.
No, that I follow. That it's like, we may not be able to control what happens, but we
Exactly.
manage what we do with what's happening.
And that's all I'm doing. I'm just, what am I going to put my energy into today as far as how I think and how I feel?
Yeah.
So I just think it's interesting when you're very introspective and you are hyper aware of everything you're thinking and feeling and kind of analyzing it in a way.
Yeah.
It gives you a new insight to yourself and to others for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really working on taking the pause,
The pause
right?
is such a lovely thing to have
Yes.
space between the notes. I've
hmm
also heard it's like the space between the notes.
Mm. I'm really enjoying that.
Yay.
Yeah, it puts me in a position to be more present. And I find when I'm that, I have more peace. And so I'm just committed to continuing to develop that and it feels really good. So even though like my days are up and down and all around, I still am like in control of my own environment. So that's groovy.
It is
I'm groovy.
it is so fun watching you, like, just get more and more you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's really neat though. You I love watching people being a witness to their growth. It's really, really neat and exciting. When someone sees that in you, it's the same. It's just You don't realize how much work you do on yourself until somebody points it out. Like, "You've changed."
Yeah.
And, I like seeing that. I like seeing that in me, and I like seeing that in other people. And even though you're on this journey, like, we both have been on this spiritual journey, if you will, just more of an enlightened path for us, it doesn't happen quickly. It's gradual, and you think you've come really far and you've done really good, and realize you're only just beginning and you still know nothing. In fact, you know nothing even more, and you have more questions than ever before.
Yes.
And so there's always work to be done. And it's just like being in awareness of like everything you're thinking and feeling really helps you with that journey,
I
in my opinion.
I agree. So along the lines of there's always work to be done, having a conversation. Mostly I was listening while someone was having a conversation with me. Um, and it was this, okay, it's like we're going towards this goal, and when we get to this goal, that's what I'm looking for. And just listening to that, really hearing the essence and understanding
Mhm.
that when you get to that next spot, then you're just taking the next step and the next step. This is what life is. And it was so many years ago that I started hearing this concept. And, when you hear a concept, and way back when I was a much younger lady, um, and I'd hear this concept that says, if you can't be happy or content or satisfied with whatever it is you're in now, even if it's a crappy situation, you just like come to terms with wherever it is you are, then getting somewhere else isn't going to solve that underlying
Mhm.
discontent with life in general. And so this what I was listening with it, to this person and just going, you gotta just be in where you are. And there
Mhm.
was still a underlying turmoil and a resistance against where that this person is in life right now, on the yesterday, as she was talking to me. So, uh, this is a big lesson just to say, "Okay,
Mhm.
I don't have to like where I am, but learning how to resist less where you are." It's this concept of acceptance, and a lot of times people will take this thought of acceptance and they say, "Well, if I actually lean into acceptance, then I'm stuck or I'm resigning to it is what it is, and
Mhm.
this is all that it is." And there's ways to say that with different inflection. Well,
Mhm.
this is all that it is.
This is it.
This is it. This is all. The only the great minds or the great teachers say, um, all we ever have is the eternal now. And that's pretty something to compliment, to contemplate
Mhm.
those things and appreciate life. There's times where you like get all the way in the now and then you're like, I don't even know. I
Yeah.
think that's where you if I get by those moments and it's only glimmers of them. It's not like in this human body we can ride the full awareness of all that is in any given moment.
Mhm.
I guess maybe some people do. That's not where I've gotten in my life.
Not even close for me.
There's some moments where I'm like, wow, this is profound. And then, got to do the dishes
It is so true.
or sweep the floor, vacuum again, again.
And again. Yes, that is so accurate.
That's this life, though.
It is. So healthy boundaries
Healthy
in
boundaries.
different ways for both of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Well, using my words, I had a great teacher tell me today, sometimes you need to use your words. How's your throat chakra? She asked. And I'm like, I think
Mm.
I need to wear blue for my throat chakra
Do some energy work on your throat chakra.
or just
Yeah.
actually vocalize
Yeah.
and say, I Can I so it sounds like this. I have to so I'll just be, like, authentically open and honest. I have always had a difficulty ending phone conversations. I
Mhm.
am a very, very good listener. I have done it
To a
for
fault.
years to a fault, and I will listen longer, than most people can listen. Like, I just listen and listen. I'm just there. I'm
Yeah.
just in the now with the person talking. Um, but I really do sometimes need to say and it is difficult for me to say, "I have got to go and do something other than listen to you."
Yeah.
Or that it's like, "I gotta go." That's always been a bit of a difficult thing for me.
Mhm.
I stay longer than I should in some conversations, so I'm gonna work on practicing that. So I gotta go. Or, "Hey, you only have 20 minutes. I only have 20 minutes, so you better, like,
Yeah,
give
when
me
you
the
have
nutshell version."
right. When you have a conversation with someone right at the beginning, it's really important to set the boundary right then and there,
I think that
I feel.
yeah, mostly for
Um,
myself, so I put up a boundary for because 'cause I'm boundaryless on the inside of me. I just will listen and listen, so it's like, how
yes.
about I set up my own time? I got 20 minutes, and then I have a whole bunch of other things to do,
Yeah. I mean, you do. You have other appointments. Like,
or
you're an
just
appointment in your book.
that's right.
You time out for you from here to here, and just don't let anyone get into it.
I'm gonna work on it. I
I'm still
can do
working
it.
on it. You can do it. I've been working on it for a while now. Couple of years, actually. Good days and bad days.
Yeah, I don't
And that's how the work looks, right? Not every day is perfect.
oh, yes.
It's just like when someone goes on a diet, they do really good for so long, and then they're like, "Ah, just one bite." And one bite turns into the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I'm just changing my diet from that thing to this
And then
thing.
you're
It's
like,
just
"I'll start again on Monday." And you do.
I'll just love myself the way I am.
It really does work out that way. I mean, you really can mess up and start over the next experience.
I
Like,
I just
it's
I'm
awesome.
right, don't take it let's not take life too seriously here, but there is cause and effect.
There is.
We we've had in our little group, we've had conversations about sugar,
Oh,
um,
yes.
over the last week or
Yeah.
so because 'cause we're all collectively feeling effects of sugar, and we openly
Yeah.
talk about how toxic it is.
It is
It
poison.
is poisoned
Yeah,
in our
absolutely.
food and different things, so,
Mhm.
um,
Especially in America, there's just some sort of, uh, voodoo going on here with our food.
that's a good way to say it.
Well, it is.
Uh,
It's caca energy. It's yucky. No good, no good.
our wells are poisoned.
Everything. I never understood why people are like, "I wanna go to America."
The promised land where we promise things but do not deliver.
Where we poison you in the air, in your water, in your food, and we tell you it's
Oh,
good for you. It's on the health pyramid.
oh, it's true. All the
And
things
we
that
tell
we've been
you
taught.
in school, this is how to be healthy.
I think it comes along
I
with
laugh because I laugh at most inappropriate times. I laugh at funerals. This is when I'm, like, really, really sad and upset. I will laugh. This is why I'm laughing. It's
we're
really
like,
not funny,
"No." But
but
it's
it's accurate,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, so
Unfortunately.
I remember a lot of the models that I learned when I was in school have been debunked by research.
Mm,
Maybe, or not.
or not.
Or not.
Well, tonight's gonna be a lot of fun, everyone. We hope you stay for just right after the break. We're
Right?
gonna have conversation from your listener emails.
Yeah.
So you guys write into us at connect@soulwanderings.com and we pick what questions to have topics about. Tonight we've chosen 3.
Mhm.
Natalie has. She's the mastermind behind the topics tonight. So we'll
Let's hope I
be
mastered well.
I think you're gonna do awesome. And you have so much to teach us, and I hopefully will be able to. share something. I definitely can share something on one of the topics. The other two, I think it's all you, girl.
Oh, you're gonna just, like, pull it out of me then.
Anyways, everyone, stay close. We're gonna be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings. I am AJ.
And I am Natalie.
And we are your hosts tonight on #Wandering Wednesday.
Yay.
Or is it Wednesday Wanders? I think it's
Well,
both.
we'll
Do
do
both.
all the hashtags.
Do all the hashtags.
Yeah. Conversations while wandering.
We're hanging out on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, Facebook, Rumble, and X pages. We hope you are hanging out there. Or there's also kgradb.com. Live.kgradb.com. I always forget the live part.
Well, not always, but
plenty of places
there
for
was
you
lots
to
of
find
years
us.
you said it without the live, and now they added the live.
Oh, yes, muscle memory.
Mhm.
All right. So, what we have done tonight is decide to take listener emails and answer your questions. But Natalie picked 3 bigger questions that we can really dive in deeper. So, we're not asking a bunch of questions. We can really get in on the topic. And so, we're completely answering your question to the best of our abilities.
Well, yeah, having some conversations about it. Hopefully, we'll get some comments.
Yes, if you guys would like to
in the chat rooms.
participate or ask any questions, type them all in caps on one of the platforms that you're hanging out in. So tonight, first question. I need like gaming music, I feel like, or like my
sound effects.
Yeah, something.
It's like
it just felt appropriate, but what? Yeah, okay. Our producer is the best.
Awesome.
Okay, that was good. She's good. She own it. She's on
She's
it.
paying attention and helping us out.
Which is a perfect thing for our first questions of the evening.
Yeah.
What she just did.
That's true.
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
What is it? Why should someone tune in for it? And how are the various ways of being open to hearing and receiving information? Inspiration. Inspiration, information.
Well, right, because when I consider inspiration, their words, especially English. We have our words have
Still learning
definition and framework, and if you look up a word, it has several definitions
and sometimes spelling
and spellings. Yes. So inspiration, like in spirit, and then spiration is also breath. So there's this concept when you break inspiration apart that when you connect with your breath, you can have spirit talk to you.
Ooh, look at you get all beautiful and fancy on us.
So that's the essence that I would talk about inspiration of tonight, and with that, of how to receive the messages. Now, I people, if longtime listeners are going to know, I do work with grief. I do work with people that are in darker aspects of their life, and they're wondering, so when someone has had a loved one die, it shifts the way that communication works, because so that's a little segue to say, when we want to commune with the greater thing that's bigger than all of us, God, universe, spirit, consciousness, it's not going to work like vocal cords. So it doesn't work like hearing someone call up a telephone, text you or call you. It doesn't work like that. There are symbology, and it's like a different sort of language. Sometimes we can hear it, voices in our heads, or a dialogue that goes on. But it's all these various ways. So with inspiration, it does require this also leads into what you were talking about, finding that pause. And that's the part of really being open and available for inspiration, you have to have some space. So in my life, and this was one of those things along with the listener saying, "What about this?" And then my own musing of saying, "Okay, so am where in my life am I leaving openness for inspiration to come?"
Mm.
So that was one of the questions, like how to do it. And if I'm overly busy and it's all booked up, and this include even in my personal time, if I'm tuning into a show or just absorbed in a game or that we can find ourselves so engaged, and I find especially with electronics that
Mhm.
they just pull us into a different space, and it's not always this inspirational space to be
Right.
inspired.
Right.
Or you may be full of other people's inspiration and not really getting your own connection with spirit. Because I believe every human's capable of tuning into spirit, and they don't need anyone else to get their messages for them.
Mhm. I agree with that. Also, for those who don't have the same language as connecting with spirit in this situation,
Sure.
um, just look at inspiration as being motivated by something outside of yourself. I think that's important also because it gives you more options, more availability for excuse me, inspiration. You know how some people have a hard time hearing like God?
Oh,
I
yes.
feel spirit is similar to a lot of people as
Yeah.
well, and they'll just me being on the flip side of that coin.
So if we were, okay, so then I'm going to go with that.
No,
No,
do still go with what you're doing. I'm just saying for those who were like, spirit, just look at it as something that is outside of you.
yes. So it can look like the tug to pick up a particular book. Say you go to a bookstore or I love finding older books at a thrift store. I like perusing a thrift store book, and then you'll just get a tug to a certain book. And all books contain messages, believe it or not. This is an interesting exercise to play with
Mhm.
is grabbing any book and holding a problem in your head and opening the book and reading what you open to.
That's my favorite way to read books. I don't know the last time I read from beginning to end. I'm all over the place, just like my hands. I'm knocking
Yes.
things over right now.
I opened a book up today and it was about I, it's interesting, but it was about the page I opened up to said psychic vampires.
Was this recently, Natalie?
This was this morning before I saw you
Oh,
earlier.
yeah, there you are. Here's your sign.
Yes. So there's these little signs that come in. Um, so there's as you raise awareness, there's a cleanup process. So we talk about these things in many forms, and I find that you can never hear it enough. That um, in order to be inspired to move or to shift or to grow beyond where you currently are, you have to be open to changes and you have to be able to raise a level of awareness to what your current behaviors, thought patterns, internal script, what's going on in there. There's only one person that can hear that.
Mhm.
And there's only one person that can take accountability for what is being said and agree to change the culture on the inside. Now, if that's not clear to you, then you have uh, how would you say someone would go about listening to their inside voice?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. I mean, they could, like,
My
type it.
yeah, yeah, share, please do share if you're in one of the chat rooms. The way that I do that for myself is through my breath. Yeah, I feel like meditation, and meditation looks different for everybody.
Right.
My meditation's usually very artistic. I am creating, doodling, automatic writing, something like that, but it allows me to go within. But there are many ways.
There are many ways.
There are many ways.
So I was just wondering, and wondering is a excellent practice to just wonder about something. Let your mind wonder. It's very close to wander, by the way.
Very close to wander. And also, I feel like when you wander, it naturally, organically brings about inspiration.
Yeah. You want to be able to slip into a space where you are not like searching so hard for an answer or
Yeah.
trying to focus the brain or the mind to like solve a situation. You want to be more open than narrowly focused. And so, breath or walking or driving, these are different ways to just be open to hear an answer.
Mhm.
I do find a lot of times when I'm working with people that they can have these blocks. Some of it can be a belief that they are don't get inspiration. They don't know how to hear a voice. They're not reading the signs, or if they're really getting a sign, and even if internally they're like, "Oh, that was something significant," then they'll talk themselves out of it.
Right. Well,
Tucker's
because we're conditioned to not believe that the answer and the power are within,
right.
right?
I
We get
know.
that taken away from us when we're young, and then we get to relearn that. And the thing is if you don't know what you're looking for, then you're going to miss the signs everywhere. And we overcomplicate it. We've talked about this before. Humans overcomplicate everything.
We do.
And so we're going to bypass it, mark it off as a coincidence. It didn't really happen. That doesn't mean anything. That's not real, whatever that looks like for them. And they're going to just keep saying, nothing's happening for me. I don't have an inner voice. I'm
Oh,
not seeing anything. I'm not hearing anything.
goodness, I have
I hear it all the time. People
I
say
know
this all the time. And I'm like, well, then you're not paying attention. There's messages everywhere.
that, there's a measurement of how committed you are to something, and
Mm,
there are people that are so committed to their not doing it, or they can't. They're so committed to their can't or
mhm,
won't, that there is no will or can involved. And
mhm,
until you shift to that, and that's an aspect even maybe, you know, and this is something that we go through cycles of it, cycles of it. This isn't so we can even you and I go through cycles like this. It's like, okay, so then the cycle that we're going through, and then we start again on opening up for inspiration and receiving answers. And as you go along, and then you complete
mhm.
things, and then you have to open up for inspiration for the next thing, or paying attention to the insight of where the next little while is going to go in
Mhm,
your life, or a particular problem pops up, because that's what happens in life, is
mhm,
that you're going along and there's peace or it's fine, and then there's a thing, an issue or a struggle, or you hear someone talk about something and you would like to work on changing something that's bothering you in your life, or a new
mhm,
relationship or an old relationship or the same old problem in a relationship, and you're just like, I'm done. All of these things in life. This is what life's all about.
yeah,
So inspiration, why would you want it? Um, it's a beautiful way to, go bigger than you. Um, I told a client, and she, reminded me that I had mentioned this. I said, "Go you wanna go altitude. You wanna raise your altitude perspective." And that's as easy as going to, they use this in business organizations as well. They call it the 10,000-foot view, where you go and you're looking from a higher vantage point down on things, or at a larger view of the tapestry or landscape. That's another way of receiving some inspiration, which is just to see bigger than what you're currently seeing, to gain a different perspective on things. And so you would want to do that so you can get out of a stuck position or just out of your own way.
Hmm.
How often do you meet people that are in their own way?
On the regular, including myself.
Me too. Who doesn't get in their own way?
I wanna know the tips and tricks. If it's you, please email us.
Yeah, let us know if you've discovered the way to be out of your own way.
Yeah, notorious for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, this inspiration, there's so you talked about you would go into a meditative state,
Mhm.
and how does your what's the language like for you? What are the messages? Are they encoded? What are the if you were to just speak about what your inspiration looks like to you inside?
I've been sitting here listening to you. There's a couple of ways that I go into a space where I'm looking for inspiration. I have these days that can last very long, even into weeks, that I'm like 0 uninspired. And I know that I would do better if I wasn't in that space on many aspects. I feel like part of my calling and my purpose is inspiration. I want to inspire others, right, to do A, B, and C for themselves and be this way. But sometimes like doing that for other people and it's not inside of me doesn't really work. So I've been aware of this for many years, what I need to do in order for me. And it's not a voice. You're asking, like, what's the inner dialogue? What is that like? And
Mhm.
it's not like that. It's not a guided thing. It really is just going within and allowing the thoughts to come up to the surface to be looked at, or the feelings, or whatever that is. Because any of those that are like hovering around and hanging out with me are what's holding me back from being fully inspired.
Mm.
It's energy, like everything. And when I have those things like weighing on my heart or weighing on my mind, it weighs me down and I can't create from that space. So, really just asking what is meant for me to look at when I go into this space, like, what is it that I need to clear? What needs to come to the surface for me to look at and be aware of, or shed light on, or just even acknowledge so I can let it go? And it really is a quick process. I don't feel like it needs longer than even 5 minutes. 5 minutes could even be too long. But the other way, what I was thinking while you were talking was music. Music is a
Mm.
really big motivator for me for all kinds of things, especially inspiration. And I really tune into different types of music depending on where I'm at in my roller coaster we talked about earlier. um, but I feel like just like clearing the energy, doing, even if you're into ritual things like I am, I really love the ritual of practices. I like setting up a space. I like clearing it with different herbs and oils. I like putting them on myself, burning them, whatever that is. And just really clearing the energy and being present with myself just so I can tune in and listen. And no, it's not a voice. It's like a prompting or a word in the song or however it chooses to come along that stands out of that experience for me in my mind. I know that's mine for the taking, and that's what was supposed to show up for me. And it really is just like developing a trust with yourself and really learning how you navigate your feelings, how you navigate your energy, your
Mhm.
surroundings, whatever that looks like, because a lot of the times you are in your own way
Yes.
and you're not going to get inspired if you're the one that's standing in the way. So it, I think really getting in tune with yourself, really listening to your highest self,
Right.
your inner self, whatever energy you want to call that, is really probably one of the most important things, not with just inspiration, but all the things, motivation, purpose, passion, everything.
Right. So there are, even if someone out there is listening and they're fairly advanced in tuning in and gaining inspiration, there's sometimes, well, the basics are always good to remember. It's always good to go back to some basics. And while you were talking, I was remembering that one of my first meditative energy clearing exercises I came across, and this was several decades ago. I remember it was in a book I think I read, and the concept was like getting all like picturing my body, myself, and taking all the icky, like dark kind of things and opening up the bottoms of my feet and letting them go out.
Mm.
And so this was one of the very first ones that I did, to just with a mindfulness sort of thing, to say, I'm just going to let everything that isn't me, that's dense or darker things, go out of me.
Right.
Sometimes it comes with the understanding that we don't have to keep what doesn't serve us. We don't have to keep our not feel goods.
Right.
And
We don't have to pack them around. Did you hear that? We're giving you permission to let that shit go.
yes, and give it a go. It's all experiments, don't you think? It's an experiment to see what works for you.
It really is, because some of the things that are working for me are definitely not going to work for you. Like, everyone is so unique in their own way for many reasons on many levels, but find your thing. Find the thing that brings you to yourself to
Right.
feel the inspiration.
Yeah. So there are a few other tools that I've just touched in along the way. Vision boards, even though this wasn't exactly what so a vision board where you have an idea, something that you would be interested in shifting, changing, gaining, those types of things. You take a vision board. And I love this description that I got at a seminar I went through. He's like, okay, even on your wall, you can put like painter's tape, and you want it to be inside of a box or a rectangle. You want it enclosed. So you want to have a limited field. So he says, you can even on your wall just put up painter's tape, and then you start putting, and he, in his model, he was saying no more than 9 things.
Be realistic.
Right. Or 6 or even 3, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, because there's a process. So if you take this vision board, you have some things that you want, and you put them up there on the vision board, and you sit in front of the vision board. And then you open yourself up and listen to the things that come up that would be like your blocks, and you write them down on a piece of paper. So it would be like, I can't do it because of money, or let's say that you wanted to get a let's see, I don't know, a new electronic gadget. So you wanted that. And so you put that up on your vision board, and then you sit in front of it and you just listen to the voice or what comes up inside of yourself that would be your can'ts or what would keep you from doing it, and you write those down on a piece of paper, and you willingly throw that away. So you're removing the obstacles, or you're going through a process where you're allowing the obstacles to be removed that would get in your way between you and that aspect that you want to bring into your life.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love letting stuff go. Let's burn that paper.
Let it go. Remove it.
There is so much power in writing, though. And not only writing, like, but really like getting rid of that energy, burning it, tearing it, whatever that looks like. Just don't read it again. Don't take it back.
No. I remember someone years ago had told me this was advice given to her by a therapist that said, take the notebook, do your writing, and glue the pages together.
Oh, wow. I have not heard that, but that's a good idea.
So you can't go back
And reread it.
and reread it. Now, a lot of times people is like, I want to review it. No, I know you've brought up a dream journal. Now, there's certain journals that you
Mhm.
don't want to do that with because you're documenting for your future self to look back on. But there's sometimes when,
When
and
you're letting the energy go.
right, when
Like,
you're letting,
really let it go then.
yes. And if you
Mhm.
haven't gotten rid of that book that was full of that, there is something powerful about burning and
Mhm.
willingly going, this is just
Yeah.
I can't I can't even get it again.
I have a book that when I was going through one of the most challenging times of my life, I filled well, not the whole thing, but almost the whole thing up. And there's so many beautiful pieces I know that are in there because it's like my heart and soul on paper. And then there's some that I know are heavier, and I don't wanna go through and reread it, right?
Right.
Because I've learned more now than I knew then. Um, so I have come to terms with the fact that I really just need to let the whole thing go.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much beauty is in it, how much love is poured into it, there are some things that just energetically need to be let go. It's in my burn pile. Supposed to happen last night, but I went to a concert instead of doing full moon stuff.
That was
The
full moon stuff.
energy is still here though, so
It's
maybe, tomorrow or Friday or something, but,
yeah.
um, I just I think it's like when I talk about rituals, I'm really into the whole ritual of so many things. I think there's beauty and intention in ritual.
Mhm.
And I think making the whole entire process of what you're going through very ritual because of the power and the intention behind it. It just makes it that much more powerful. I know I said power, but powerful. Like there's so much energy behind it, and you're, like, really ready to let it go.
Right, and what I feel when you're talking about something that's ritual would be there's particular steps and there's a process that you go through. So, um, you're like, it's in some ways, when I think about a ritual, it would be a pattern. So it would have like a sort of checklist. And so you'd be touching on the
Some
points over and over again. If for people
some
that,
people who need that, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm not that person with that. I like things in order, and I like to do things in order, but that whole ritual thing is not written down. It's not pre-planned. It's a
It's
feeling thing.
so what you're saying, it's just pure intention. You're in it,
A very
solidly in it,
definitely.
and nothing is getting in the way of what you're doing at those moments.
I think that's one of the most important things about that process for me.
I think that's a good thing to say about inspiration too is giving yourself space and being not interrupted
Mm,
to just open up that for yourself from time to time. And if you never do that for yourself, give it a
mhm.
go.
Yeah, I agree. Um, we only have a few minutes before break and we'll be changing the topic. But before we go, we've mentioned a couple of ways to invoke inspiration in our lives. Also, um, if you're into like dance or traveling or any kind of creative process, or even just practicing mindfulness or having conversations like these, anything that sparks joy, I feel
Yeah.
brings inspiration. So it can look and be anything you want it to be.
Hmm.
And these are just some of the ways, but you know what brings you joy. You know what brings you inspiration. And when you get stuck, maybe the thing that you've been trying isn't working anymore. So try something new.
Yeah.
You can't mess that up
Nope.
because it's all experimentation. And also, like having a healthy level of inspiration is very healthy for your mental and emotional well being. It brings people out of depression.
Oh, I agree.
And it also boosts your immune system because you're being in a higher vibrational state when you're in those places.
Yeah.
Just a little thought on that.
It's very good. That's
Do you have
super
anything
good.
in closing?
Um, no,
Awesome.
yeah. I think that we covered that one pretty well.
Well, if you still have questions after that, you know how to get a hold of us.
Right.
Connect at soulwanderings.com and we'll be right back. Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings. I am AJ,
And I am
and
Natalie.
we are your host of this show, Soul Wanderings. Hashtag Wandering Wednesday. Hashtag Wednesday Wanderer. Whatever one calls to you. Awesome for you. So, why don't you all head over to kgradb.com if you want unlimited access to all the shows, all the back scenes content, all the extras, and go over to shows and hosts, then over to Wednesday, then over to Soul Wanderings. That's where Natalie and I have little information as well as subscribe buttons for monthly or annual subscriptions. And that allows you to get all of that good stuff for 30% off your membership. 30% off.
30% is a good deal.
I think so. I think so. And when you do that, you support the show and you support the station. It's a win-win. You get something, we get something. Love it. It's a great community, great shows, great hosts, great listeners. Thank you for supporting us. Tonight, we are hanging out with me
And me.
and you.
Yes.
And we are answering listener emails. We just got done talking about inspiration, and we're going to move on. The self, higher self, and the self. So the big self, higher self, and the little self, the not self.
The not so.
And who we think we are, or our ego self.
Right.
And Natalie, Miss Human Design Expert, has so much to share about this this topic of conversation.
And I actually have a couple of frameworks from definitely human design, but I started in studying Carl Jung's work because he would talk about the higher self and the ego.
Mm.
And so I'm going to start with that and I'm going to go into human design after that. So the ego is the part of us that is full of fear and anxiety, and it's the voice inside of us that will say, "No, no, 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 we don't need to change anything. No, 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 no.
We're
Now, but what
comfortable.
if this and but what if we change too much and then people won't like me and then I won't have any friends and what if I like grow or it's that aspect of ourself that will argue against the growth or the change. Um, and so when you're on your spiritual journey or you're on your when you're listening to shows like this too, and a bunch of the shows that are on KGRA, you're already on the path. So this is an aspect of understanding that there's the ego and then there's the higher self, which represents the potential that we have in this lifetime grow into. And that doesn't mean fame, fortune, 2 billion followers on it doesn't mean that. That's not at all what potential means in my book. I mean, that may be someone's potential, but we often,
We all have a calling.
yes, we do all have a calling. But there's a lot of times where people will look to other people and they'll say, I want what they have, which is never possible because they're not you. And it's to be the best, highest version of yourself, which will still be the aspects of you in the most significant ways. I mean, the language really is higher self. So there's the higher self and the ego, and they they work together. So the ego provides resistance, and just if you imagine when you go to the gym or any sort of exercise, strength is not built without resistance. So we do not build muscle unless there is weight and resistance against it. So we have to lift something. Lifting air really does not build muscle like lifting a 10-pound weight will build muscle. And so when you're coming to personal growth, you have the ego provides resistance. And when you can tune into the ego part, the limiting voice, the voice that would have you be limited. Oh, we can't do that because of this or that or the other. Um, the fear. When you're walking along a path where it's personal growth, you have to face the fear and you have to go forward towards the fear. You literally have to move towards what you're afraid of. Now, caveat saying that's like if you have physical danger, that's not what we're talking about. It's the imaginary things that keep you limited in your life of what's going on. And then the higher self is getting into that potential. So there's a lot of times where people are like, I need to get rid of my ego. And that's not the point.
And you don't want to get rid of your ego.
No, because then you would be dead. It's true. That's when the ego goes away. It's like there's no ego. I'm guessing there's no ego in spirit. Maybe there's that. But no, you don't want to get rid of the ego because it is the teacher. So this is one thing that I will see in people um, when their ego gets bumped up against and they just can spiral or spin or their traumas come up and it looks like
Mhm.
that, where the ego will push back against people. The ego is also a place where it's not really in a loving spot. It's the part of us that could be mean and cruel.
Mhm.
Uh, was having a conversation today with a client, and she was saying, "This person's evil." And I said, "Who are you to, like, call someone evil?" She said, "They are evil." And I'm like, "Okay, so if we go back to the situation that you're saying, in this particular case," she's like, "She was gonna call the police on me." I'm like, "No, everyone was in a really rough place at that particular time." That so to lean in and really grow our higher self, we have to reach for some higher perspective on the regular. What else could it be? Pay attention to the heaviness or the lightness of what you're saying.
Mm.
Does it feel dense? Does it feel this goes hand in hand with the understanding of vibration and that there are low density vibrations and higher vibrations that feel lighter, more airy. Um, and so this is the aspect of fostering it. So you want to make friends with the ego, but you don't let the ego drive the train because the ego will keep you limited and you won't be able to achieve higher potential.
I always say my ego needs to take the back seat. You can get in the car, we'll go for a cruise, but you're sitting in the back seat.
It's a really good way to put the ego too. The ego is the side seat driver or the back seat driver that's like, "Oh, hey, oh, yeah, you know what you need to you just like
And you get
this,"
to
and
be like, "Shush it. I'm driving."
it's that negative self-talk, um,
Mhm.
things
Well, yeah, and the ego loves drama, right?
Oh, yes.
Hold on to our stories, and we love dramatic TV shows.
Yes,
Just I mean, it goes all over the place.
it really does. I mean, it's understandable that we would be because our shows are so dramatic
They're very dramatic.
and so many people
Don't
watch.
watch TV. It's bad for you. Sorry, subliminal messaging. They can do it, so can I.
Good job. Right. I don't have very much drama in my life anymore. And so talking about this sometimes could be like, oh yeah, there are those moments, but they used to be so much more
Right.
frequent in my
Yes.
life.
Yes. I agree with that.
And it's just doesn't happen as often
No.
anymore.
No, my life is not dramatic. There are people in my life who are dramatic, but I shut that down in my life. You have to.
Yeah. So when you encounter so when you How do I want to ask this? I was going to ask you. Um, so I know where you work and interacting. How,
You do?
like, yeah, I'm like, oh, yes, that's great conversation. um, how, how have you found like helping people move away from their ego?
I can tell this is a challenging question to ask. I don't tell anyone to move away from their ego. It's not my place to do that. I can see it. I see it in myself sometimes,
Hmm.
and I'm easily able to see it in others, but I can't tell them to put their ego in check. It's just not my place, so I don't do anything about it. Lead by example? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Maybe it's just that was why it was hard to come out. Um, because if someone doesn't call out, I'm just wondering about this saying, how when is proper to tell someone else, or maybe we just keep this conversation to the individual and say it's each person's responsibility.
It is each person's responsibility. I agree with that wholeheartedly. However, we are around other people and it can affect us, right? I mean, our next question is about how energies affect us collectively. This is
Right.
one of those experiences
Yeah.
where if you're around that type of energy, it will get to you in one way or another. Um, I think it's important to really not be bossy and tell people what they need to do with their behavior. But if they're hurting other people and you're a witness to that, it's causing harm.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like this just unspoken law to say something or do something about that. But also, um, it's not our place to tell people what to do or how to do the things unless they're asking you. I
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
true.
really intrusive. I think that I wouldn't want someone coming up to me and saying, "Hey, you need to put your ego in check." Well, who are you to tell me to put my ego in check? I mean, that's part of my personality anyway. Don't tell me what to do, but I'll do what I want.
I
But like
do.
I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. And I think it's important. That's one of those healthy boundaries like we were talking about earlier too is
Hmm.
um if that ego is thrown in your direction, what you get to do and as a responsibility to yourself and your well-being is set up that boundary.
Right.
Like don't allow that behavior
Right.
around you.
Right. So someone had commented and said a healthy ego um, is a good thing.
I
That
agree with that.
there is, so don't take this to be that ego is always a bad thing.
Right.
Um, ego ego's powerful. So now I'm going to move it over into the language with human design. In the human design system, the ego is the heart center and it's associated with willpower.
Mhm.
And those people that have it defined within their chart, um, it's their ally. It's the way that they get things done. Um, and if it's defined in someone's design, they have it day in and day out. And to to utilize that willpower in a healthy way and have that ego know its place
Mhm.
within your own personal framework, that's the way to keep it healthy.
Right. Sometimes they can sit in the passenger seat right up front with you.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's the stuff that gets projects done.
Mhm.
It's the way that you muscle through some aspects that need to be handled. It's the one that says, "Hey, it's not gonna be this way, and we're gonna put this other framework in place within a life or a household." It's very beneficial to have.
Mhm.
Um, my friends with it, I marvel because I don't have it. I was just like, "Huh, I don't that's I
And I
you
do have that definition.
you do."
I'm very aware.
And so when it's in your definition and your ego gets bumped and you would have it your way, it can an ego and this framework can also be overly controlling.
Mhm.
And so you can also want to say, it's going to be my way. And it's going to be my way. And that's something to navigate through, to say, okay, so there's more than just me, or
Mhm.
however that is managed. And so this ego will drive a voice in our head, but in a healthy way within the framework of human design. A person with a healthy ego knows when to rest and when to work and when to use it. And they will negotiate for themselves. They'll say, I want this much. Let's just say, for an example, in a job, they'll say, I want this level of pay. And that's what you're going to pay me. And people will often get it.
Mhm.
And that's a beneficial thing. And so as long as it's not in charge. Most often, it's not in charge of your life within the on a very, very small percentage of people does it run the show for some people. And of those people, when it runs the show, they're all up behind. They're all behind their ego, and that leads the train. That's an interesting person in charge.
I like how you said that. That's
Yeah.
an interesting person in charge.
Oh, and in my own personal experience, so my heart is in the human design system completely undefined. So I actually filter people's ego energy and can feel with awareness whether they're healthy or not healthy. And there's times where I'm like, boy, your little ego's getting all bruised because someone told you what to do in one instance.
She's talking about me. I feel so called out right now.
No, I was actually thinking
I
of
know,
someone
I was
else.
just joking.
Just like, and well, you know who you are out there listening. And so you have to train. It could be like a pouty little teenager sometimes, where it can be a little bit immature. Definitely in the concept of higher self and ego, the ego is the more immature aspect of ourselves. It doesn't see everything in the bigger global view of saying, I am just an insignificant part of this whole world. You don't ever meet those people where the world just revolves around them?
Unfortunately.
It's like
They don't know it, but it sure does.
and then you're just like, the world does not revolve around you. So,
I
um,
love conversations with humans that have big egos. It's fun.
it's fun.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh, okay. Nothing we can do to change someone
Thank
with
you
a
for
big
being
ego.
such a wonderful teacher for me.
Oh, that is a beautiful way to say thank you for being a teacher
Mhm.
of me. So now it's who we think we are. Um, Coming into this human experience and the things that we're aware of, we can't be fully aware of all the ways our higher self can be. So, in my own personal growth experience, I actively would practice reaching for a higher principle, higher level. What's the highest right for me? What's in the highest good? This is one of those programming things that I did with myself, asking myself, what's in the highest good for me? Reaching for the high good, taking the higher road. And language being what it is, this is like higher principled, higher consciousness. It's something that's going to make me uncomfortable and stretch me and grow me.
Mhm.
And that's the aspect. So this is beyond what we think or know, stretching into the higher potential.
Get uncomfortable.
Get uncomfortable. Without getting uncomfortable, growth and expansion don't occur in the comfort zone. They don't. They
I find a pattern with myself where I start feeling very comfy I'm like, "Oh, all the work I've done, it's integrating. We're on this plateau. It feels really good." And as soon as I put awareness into everything is coasting and I'm doing really good, I have another beautiful teaching experience. So tonight we're talking about this, and I have a feeling I'm going to stretch soon. Thank you for bringing this into my awareness that things have been comfortable for too long.
Oh.
But they really haven't, but yes, they have. For me, how fast I've been expedited in this experience of life.
Oh, for sure.
But
So when your ego gets bumped up, there are, some questions to ask yourself. There's some, um, check-ins to say is so one of the things that I've heard along the way, and I'm sure most people have heard this, is this the hill that I wanna die on right now?
mm,
Is this, um another thing I heard so many years ago that just popped in for me is it more important for me to be right or to because usually this is in relationship to other humans. So then it's like, is it more important to be right or is the relationship more important?
mhm,
Oftentimes people can be so committed to being it's their perspective, their view on the world.
right, and they're willing to lose it all for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the things people will say to each other in those egoic, lower density places, hmm, it's like makes my heart hurt
Well, even to
for those things.
themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That inner dialogue.
Right. We've talked about that on and off, through the years, how that affects us. The thing that I just don't ever get over when it comes to our inner dialogue is how incredibly cruel we are to ourselves, which we would never say to anyone else. Like, it just blows my mind. Not that I'd want us to say those things to anyone else, because that would be very hurtful. Point exactly.
Yeah.
It's very hurtful, and the continual inner dialogue of hurting yourself is just so sad. I mean, I feel like we all struggle with it on some level.
True.
I don't think anyone's exempt from those experiences,
No.
unfortunately.
And within the human design system, that's what we call the not self. The mind is the spokesperson for the not self voices. And that means that it's other people's voices or the world around you or the conditioning that came from when we were being for our very young self. So our young self, we come into the world and we start getting conditioning by the world around us, by our parents, by schools, and
Mhm,
it's set. It gets pretty much set by 7. And we have 0 control over that. 0 control about what went into our cake as we were being baked when we were little people. Um, but we don't have to be run by that.
mhm,
So there's certain ways of understanding if you get frustrated or if you're angry or bitter or disappointed, there's ways of monitoring that saying, "Oh, somewhere I'm there's a voice inside of me saying something that is not me." And so leaning into the aspects that are you. And if you're not familiar with human design, there's a lot of different tools to help you understand yourself. And it's beneficial to learn about that.
mhm,
Even if you don't want to learn, it's how does your body feel? Does your body feel good or ugh, dense and tight and icky? These are symbols or it's easy to read your body. And if it's a new thing to you, just start tuning in.
mm,
How does my body feel about this? Listen to the way that language is. And there's only one person that can set the culture inside or reset the culture inside. And it and you we've talked about this. This is not an overnight process. Nobody's problems were established in a day, and nobody's problems are going to be eliminated in a day. There's often times where I'll hear from people, I don't know what to do about the situation.
There goes that diet analogy again.
Right. It's like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, is there anything to do right now? Sometimes it's like, stop. This is to yourself. And I've done this before in my life. I am done with this conversation. It's been a while. I trained my brain. I really did. I spent 3+ years training my brain to, one, stay uncomfortable so that I would learn how to move, how emotions move. I actually learned how emotions move. And I learned that any emotion, from happy to like the other side of not happy, moves. Give it any amount of time. I heard you say the other day, you said, they say that a craving will be gone in 15 minutes. If you don't do anything about a craving, it'll go away in 15 minutes. And emotions are like that.
A craving is an emotion, in my opinion.
That's good. Yes, would be. So as you watch it come and go and you watch it come and go, you are retraining yourself from giving in. And we have to be retrained, because whatever you have done in your life has been your practice, and that's what you've been practicing. So you have to think about the thousands of times you've practiced a particular way of being, a certain thought pattern. It's ingrained inside. And so you've got to practice something else. And it doesn't have to be 1,000 times to practice it, but you've got to commit to more than twice practicing a thing.
Yeah.
Most people are like, I'm done. I can't do it. It didn't work the
That's
first
me when
time.
I want instant gratification. If it's not gonna work the first time, I don't even wanna do it. I don't even wanna try. I want it, and I want it now.
That's right. We're conditioned for that. Microwave generation.
I love instant gratification.
Well, it's nice sometimes, but then there's the other reality of that.
Now it really is, rewarding when you go through the steps,
Yes.
and you can look back and be like, "Yep, I did that." That's where the healthy ego comes in place, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful to be able to see how far you've come. And going back to the pause, right? Just pause.
Yeah.
Feelings and emotions don't hang out. Nothing lasts forever.
No. I was talking in a group recently, and I said, when you feel like there are times in our life where we're so stressed out, or we're in so much mental, emotional, physical pain that we feel like we just can't make it anymore. So I said, if you were to just lay on the ground and just stop making it for a while, you would eventually have to get back up, because you wouldn't die. And
You would need a drink of water.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll need something. You're going to bore yourself to pieces.
Right. But sometimes that's the answer, is to just
stop.
Yeah. Stop is a good thing. Pause, stop, all of these things. Now, the most effective tool is the one that you actually practice with or use. These are all great inspirational things that we're saying. Wonderful
That's
conversation.
awesome that you said that, because I had a quote for inspiration that
yeah.
I keep in my notebook, and it says, "The inspiration is not receiving of information. The inspiration is applying what you've received." So it goes kind of hand in hand with what you just said.
Yes, it does. That was good. Look at us go.
Okay, so now we're going to have a discussion on how the collective gathers from every individual, or as you would say, or not.
Or not.
How every perspective matters, or not.
Right.
And how the millions of perspectives can all become very diluted. since everyone is an expert, no one is an expert.
It's true. This is definitely the age that we're in.
Right now.
There is so much information.
So much information.
On all fronts.
Everything.
There's all these publications, there's research, there's scientific development, there's billions of people. Now, it's easy to there's times where I just don't even think, like, I don't even know what the amount of population they estimate on this planet. What is it, close to 7
I'm in my
billion?
own little world right now.
Yeah.
Remember? Finding peace, Natalie.
She's like, "Don't talk to me about the
Don't talk
billions
to
of
me about what's going on in the world with all these people and we're suffering. Please don't.
So that when
I can't feel anymore.
You do not have to feel 7 billion people.
Sometimes I feel like I am.
That's actually, that actually is a good thing to just mention that oftentimes we can feel, every individual on the planet's responsible for their own experience, so it's their job to feel their feels and their things, but we do live on a global, uh, on this planet that is full of people and this planet peoples, and so there is this collective, and, our collective experiences go into the consciousness field. Or not.
Or not.
It is said. So all this information, that's available at the fingertip. It's just so easy to get information, but it is so easy to get waterlogged in it. And with all of the platforms that are available for anyone to make a video and to say whatever they say, and they're even us, I mean,
I was gonna say there's something for everyone, and here we are.
Here we are, yeah.
If we're your cup of tea, heck yeah, that's awesome, and if not, okay.
That's right. Giving our perspectives and from our point of view and our personal experience and our learning. Now, when I was talking about I'm gonna go back start with the diluted. Now, there with all of that information, it's like, what do you tune into? Like, with all of that to choose from, a teacher of mine once said, "Well, you go in," it used to be truly like 30, 40 years ago. This is not even that long ago, where there was just 2 or 3 spatulas to choose from, you know? Now you go into places and there's all these different colors and all these different styles, and just because there's more selection doesn't make the choice any easier to choose all of these different parts of the that's really good. Speaking well tonight.
How's your throat chakra?
It's being worked tonight.
It is.
It's true. This is a lot of talk, which I like. I'm growing. I'm
Natalie
exercising
wanted to talk tonight.
I did.
I've given her the platform.
Stepping up to the challenge, and I can feel it. I'm like, yes. Hopefully I'm doing well for all the listeners out there talking about these things. So in this sea of information and perspectives, it's easy to feel like another person's perspective has more weight, has more substance, has more anything than yours.
Mhm.
Now, I just want to caution, and in a world of influencers, like people, there's this trend. There's this trend of influencing. You have no idea what that person's life looks like.
That's absolutely true.
They show up on a camera. They could be who even knows what their actual living is like, what they'll say. So it's lovely. This ties into there are a lot of influencers that'll be inspirational.
It all connects.
It does.
Isn't that the way it goes? It's all very connective collectively.
Right. But I want I want to have people pay attention to whether or not when they're watching someone and saying, "I would want to be like someone." I'm gonna give a little exercise because we can never be anyone but ourselves. We were born into a body to do an incarnation in the character and the persona that you've been put on. The name that you were given,
There is no other you
no,
like you.
there is no in this billions of people, there's only one you, and it's your job to be that. And so when you admire someone else and you try to be like someone else, it pulls you in to not you. We are genetically, there is so much pressure on us at the genetic level to be what we're not. So this is quite a complex and profound thing to be talking about, of to feel the pressure to be what you're not, and to watch people and say, I want to do like them.
Mhm.
It, so the exercise that I wanted to bring up was, what are the characteristics of the person? So I want to, if you pull out a particular characteristic, more dynamic, more whatever the characteristics that you admire in another, and so it's about a characteristic we can work on within ourselves, but we can't be another person. So it's a way of pulling just an aspect that you would like to work on within yourself to be more like that aspect, which is a healthier way than going, I want to be like this other person.
It's a good way to look at it. And it's a good way to make you feel good about yourself.
This is the whole goal.
Yes.
Do you know what? It feels really good to be around people that love themselves, doesn't it?
You know, this is a really um okay. I'm not sure how to label this kind of conversation. Just to be authentic, like women in general have a hard time loving themselves.
Mhm.
We could go on for the many reasons why, but people in general, we'll just generalize it to every human being because that's also true.
Right.
But I'm a woman. I can only understand from my perspective and my experience,
Right.
but a whole lifetime of conditioning on what it looks like and what it feels like and what it is to be a woman. And then having everything work against you, like especially media.
Oh, yeah.
And my life, I've been in just from a little young age up, I've always had people looking at me. I was a performer. I was dancing and then teaching and doing all of these things that put me in front of other people. And you feel like you're in under a microscope.
Right.
And so you really start analyzing yourself on top of all of the conditioning that you're getting from the media. It's like super horrible. So my life, just my perspective, my lens on me, and you're very well aware of this, has always been distorted. And undoing that is such a challenging process. It has been for me.
Right.
But in the last, I would say, well, especially 10 years, but even more so in the last 5 years of just like really acknowledging and accepting who I am and loving what is. Like,
Right.
this is who I am.
Yeah.
And why am I always at war with myself?
Yeah.
Whatever that look like, whether it, my brain function or the way my body looks or whatever that looks like, um, the goal to get to a place of self-love is such a long drawn out process for so many of us.
Yeah.
I have so much compassion for people who are going through that journey, like really in a challenging way. Because I mean, we all have that dialogue, right? But those who are really, really struggling, because it can totally mess up your psyche
Oh,
and
yes.
make your whole world delusional. And you feel like out of body and you're not even yourself. You've created some scenario about who you are and what you're not.
Yeah.
And it's tormenting.
It is.
And just being able to undo that and get to a place where you surround yourself with people who love themselves, it becomes contagious. Like, talk about wanting something someone else has or is, that would be it, right? You look at people who love themselves and you're like, wow, I want to love myself like that.
Right.
I love the way they look at themselves. I love how they admire this about themselves. And I think just saying that is, I felt compelled to like emphasize the importance of self-love because it's such a big integral part of our journey here, is coming back to ourselves and truly loving who we are, because each one of us are just so unique and so amazing
Yeah.
and so capable and so beautiful, and all of these other adjectives, like, we're limitless. And it's it's insane to me that even for just 1 minute we don't understand our unlimited potential of ourselves, but about loving ourselves in general.
Right.
Like, it just blows my mind that we have to go through this, as if everything else of a human wasn't challenging enough. We've also got to learn to love ourselves.
Yes.
Like, why can't we just love ourselves? Right? It's just so crazy.
Well, we get dropped into this ocean of commercialism and homogenization and
Mm,
saying that you've got to be what you're not, or, we just
right.
think about just some practical aspects, the makeup industry, they would call it the beauty industry, and the food. So at the beginning, we were talking about poison and in America and how our food is toxic, and we have so many battlefronts, or so there is a lot um, of conditioning agents, brainwashing sort of thing. What was it that you said? Oh, s just the word just goes programming, inner programming, like those all the ways that we get programmed. And that's the world we live in. So it's not about, okay, we have to get out of this world. No, it's about learning to bypass it in some way.
Mhm.
So, taking this concept of self love, and we're saying, okay, so we find that maybe we can love another person. So, we can make this list of attributes that we like about these people that we admire. So, equally, you want to do a list of what you admire about yourself. What happens most often in when we're being tormented within our own psyche is that we're like, they're great for this reason and that reason and this reason. And I am not great because of this reason, this reason, this reason. What? That is not even fair.
It's not even the homework assignment.
No, but it's not. I was like, oh, if you're going to measure your not greatness, why don't you imagine their not greatness and
Right.
pile that side by side?
Well, and also, how do you compare yourself to someone on media when none of that is real anyway? Like,
Right?
everyone's
Mm,
trying to be something that they're not. There's very few authentic human beings really putting their true self forward.
right.
All of it's just a show and nobody is perfect.
It's
And
true.
we're comparing ourselves to perfection that's not even real. That's the whole, like, messed up thing about it.
I know. We don't. This is the intellectual exercise
Mm,
the process of it and catching yourself running down an avenue that's unhealthy and saying, hold it. No, no,
mhm,
we're not gonna go down that right now.
mhm,
There's ways of you have to raise the awareness and notice when you're going down and develop some ways to interrupt that. Now, breath, meditation, um, listening to something else, just absolutely moving your body is another way. So the mind is a very good servant, and it's a bad master. But so often when we're caught up in these difficult aspects, and when we're doing the self-denial and self-judgment, um, that we're letting the mind be the master.
Mhm.
And the mind is an analytical machine. It's a measurement machine. It's very good to do that. So let mind do what it does. But it's not really good for an accurate measurement because it watches these shows or various things and it's just believing it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, not actually thinking. So it's that thing that we've learned through the pandemic that nobody shows up in a full suit when they're sitting in front of a camera on a Zoom thing.
Yes.
I remember seeing some pictures or some memes that said, "Come to work in your Zoom outfit, like
Mm.
what you wear at
That's
home."
funny. When we did a show at home not too long ago, and I had said, "We're at home. I may or may not be wearing pants." I did get a few emails about that. "Were you really not wearing pants?"
You're like, "You may never
You'll
you will
never know.
don't know."
I don't even remember, that was so long ago.
That's true. So the collective, is full of all sorts of things. The collective is full of some of these, um, negative, more toxic
Mhm.
aspects, but there's also the collective, the higher consciousness collective that is full of the love vibration, and it actually takes a smaller amount of people to raise the vibration of this planet. The planetary vibration can be raised by, I think it's like 20% of the planet, maybe even smaller than that. And
That's
so
crazy.
I know,
Crazy stats, wow.
right. So breaking free of that is worth the effort,
Mhm.
and it's shining your light or holding your light. And so in a dark room, if you take a candle into a dark room, that candle brightens the room. It may not go into every corner, but it brightens the room. So finding your light and honoring the aspects of you, what help you be more attractive in all kinds of levels. So if you're having trouble being in your own aura, it's not hopeless. I promise you, it's not hopeless.
Mm-mm.
It's no, there isn't anyone out there that couldn't um, reach more of their potential with a little bit of work and persistence. If you're, it depends on what you're committed to. What are you committed to? How willing are you to open yourself up and contribute to this collective? So, when we're talking about the collective, every perspective is feeding into this higher consciousness realm. What is your piece of the contagion? What are you spreading every day that you're going around in your world? Are you bringing it up or are you bringing it down? This is just a question for awareness. And
Mhm.
if you happen to be one where it's a little bit dense, it's what my mom said. My mom is a wise woman. Um, and she's also very human, I've learned. She's very human too. But she would tell us, this is what we grew up with saying, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Oh, yeah, that was one of those comments I heard a lot in my childhood. And it's true.
And, and
Turns
a
turns out.
Yes. A smile is also extremely contagious. So you can practice this. If you go around and you just go
Except
to,
for when you're in Germany, and sorry if you're in
oh,
Germany, but I smiled at everyone in Germany and got not one single smile back.
oh my, um, I have some friends and one of them is he's American, but he lives in Germany, lived in Germany,
Mm.
and he's back here for a period of time. Then he's going back to Germany. And he said, yeah, Germans they're just, they've been through it. I think that country's been through a lot, but they were talking about Germans are not, not overly
So
friendly like that.
selectively choose your environment so you have successful results.
Well, it's an experiment. We're experimenting and saying, if I go around and I smile at other people, what happens? Paying attention to what happens.
You know, not to go a different path, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't smile back anymore. People just are too afraid to be too friendly or not friendly enough, I've noticed. But do the experiment. It'd be interesting to see what happens. But I think it's different now than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but it's the funny thing about fear.
Yeah.
Fear's a liar most of the time. It really is.
Natalie, false evidence appearing real.
Yes, it's a lie.
Yeah, fear is a liar.
Yes,
That should be
and
a metal song.
it's probably in some metal lyric somewhere. Liar. So, I guess I definitely am one of those that's like, "Okay, shake it that up and say, okay, yes, people, the pandemic did definitely, this last 4 years have been a little,
Mhm,
intense in our world, and our world is going through a lot of growing pains.
mhm,
There are a lot of schools of thought that, actually are talking about the expansion of this planet and the ascension process. And, that's not even something that was on our that'll be a future show where we tap into what this ascension process is. Um, but with that, I can say we can all go through our own ascension process,
mhm,
and that is choosing a more positive thought stream. Choosing, it's like what you said, we have choices.
mhm.
Choosing to adjust the internal thinking, choosing to smile,
Right.
choosing to see how you, um, just what does it mean to be a higher vibration? What does it mean to be in acceptance of what is? That's this wondering this life is about that.
Right.
I think that's what has been said, that we are each a point of the consciousness field. So each one of us provides a perspective like an eyeball, and the consciousness takes in all of that and puts together this massive picture.
And going back to inspiration and talking about being a part of it all, inspiration is a very high vibrational energy.
Mhm.
And you talk about raising your vibration. Um, you have to raise your vibration in order to find that inspiration.
Yes,
And that collectively is a thing.
that is
Like raise your inspiration and see what happens in your environment, not just lend a smile, like inspire others. It allows them to raise their vibration.
right. If you do your work, you may find that that people around you will start to do their own. Maybe, maybe not. But you don't want to wait on someone else to
One person is enough.
one person.
If we all
Yes.
did it and affected one human being, that is enough because they're going to go and affect at least one human being.
Yeah. It's this,
It's a beautiful
oh,
thing.
this whole like human experience.
So good. It's been fun doing questions.
But yes.
I I just have to shout out to our listeners. Thanks for writing into us and sharing your thoughts, even your opinions, and definitely your questions. It's a lot of fun talking about them or letting Natalie talk about them.
I appreciate the opportunity.
She's just so good at it. If you have any questions or you're wanting to share some of your own inspiration or anything else, you can reach out to us at connect@soulwanderings.com. I get all the emails. Say hello.
Yes. You're
What
beautiful at managing all of that.
Thank you. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just curious what little tidbits did you pick up?
Well, I've heard a lot of this before in our
Mhm.
conversations. The reminders that were good for me is um, how deeply affected we are by each other. And so just being in the same environment with you or anyone else of my choosing, how it really is going to affect me and how I heal, how I navigate my human experience. And I think it's important who we surround ourselves with, or who
Yeah.
we structure our life around or spend our time with, because we can find inspiration in others. We can also connect to our inner self, our higher self, by examples from others. And collectively, we have the ability to alter someone's present moment with a simple smile and just change their vibration altogether. And so I think all of it, all the questions that you chose were um, very synchronicitous. They're all just beautiful and gentle reminders for where I'm at in my journey, and all the work I've yet to be done.
The one thing I
Yes.
want to remind you of
So good.
is you so often don't know the impact that you make. And I can tell you, you have definitely impacted my life, the interacting with you, and I appreciate that. And you're a teacher, and I, from this helped me really understand that there are some adjustments I want to make because I want to open up a bit more space for inspiration in my life. But I do want to just let you know, you're a pretty impactful lady.
Thank you.
And I wouldn't be able to be on this show with this wide of audience if you hadn't have invited me to come and share this
You
space
have
with
so
you.
much to share, Natalie. I'm so happy that you're here. You're just wonderful, and everyone adores you. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
showing up the way that you do.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And thank you for the compliment.
Mhm.
It's nice to be reminded. I don't pay attention to that. I
I know
just
you don't.
flutter around and do my thing.
I'm sure the
But
listeners would all agree. There's does
I'm
she make the impact? Yes.
I'm glad it's helping at least one person. That's all that matters. All right, listeners, that concludes another Soul Wandering night. We'll be back next week or not. I'm just kidding. We'll definitely be back next week, and we will have a brand new guest to share with all of you. So until then, be good to yourself and be good to each other. We'll see you all then.
Have a
Good
good
night.
one.